Snow exploded under Marshal Cole's boots as he lunged behind the half-collapsed barn wall. A rifle shot cracked through the frozen air, shredding splinters inches from his face. He didn't know who fired, only that someone was watching him, tracking him. Cole raised his revolver, scanning the whitewashed ruins of the abandoned homestead. Wind howled through the broken window frames, carrying the smell of burning pine from somewhere far off. Then he saw it movement, a rope swaying, several ropes. His breath caught. 7 bodies dangled beneath the porch beams. Young women, Apache, frozen hair stuck to their cheeks, their dresses stiff with ice. Cole cursed, gripping his revolver tighter. The Brackett gang had been through here. The handiwork was unmistakable. Another gunshot. The bullet ricocheted off the cast-iron pump beside him. Whoever was shooting wasn't aiming to kill. They were hurting him, forcing him toward the hanging porch. Cole bolted. He sprinted across the yard, slid behind the porch rail, and pressed his fingers to the wrist of the nearest girl, just to whisper an apology before cutting her down. But her skin was warm. Warm? The girl's eyelids fluttered. A faint, broken breath escaped her lips. Cole staggered back, stunned. Impossible. Another one moved. Then another. A faint groan rose from the group of supposedly dead victims. They were alive. All of them. Barely, but alive. The Brackett gang hadn't finished the job. Or they didn't want to. Cole's instincts screamed. This wasn't an execution. It was bait, a trap. The boards above his head creaked. Cole spun, firing a shot into the shadows. A masked silhouette dropped from the roof, swinging a hunting knife aimed at his throat. Cole rolled aside, the blade grazing his collar. He fired again. The attacker collapsed into the snow. He didn't have answers, but he had no time to look for them. Cole tore off his coat and wrapped it around the closest girl, cutting her down with trembling hands. "Stay with me," he muttered. "Stay awake." Footsteps thundered on the ridge behind the homestead. More men, Brackett's men. Cole holstered his revolver, lifted the half-frozen girl over his shoulder, and hissed to the others hanging above him, "Don't you die on me. Not tonight." He didn't know yet who they were. Warriors, survivors, or something far more dangerous. But he knew one thing. This wasn't a rescue. This was the beginning of a war. The storm thickened as Cole forced his way through the dead orchard, the half-conscious Apache girl clinging weakly to his shoulders. Her breath warmed his neck in shallow bursts, each one a reminder that she was still fighting for life. Behind them, faint voices drifted through the wind. Brackett's men spreading out, hunting. They thought he'd take the main road. They were wrong. Cole reached a collapsed shed and kicked the door in. The hinges shrieked as he carried the girl inside and lowered her onto a pile of old horse blankets. She winced, eyelids twitching open. Her gaze locked on his badge, even half frozen. She recognized the emblem of the same law that had failed her people. "It's gone," Cole muttered. He tore the star from his coat and tossed it into the snow. "I'm not one of them anymore." The girl didn't speak, but the tension in her jaw eased just enough to show she understood. Cole knelt beside her, rubbing warmth into her hands, checking her pulse. Stronger now. Barely. The rope burns around her neck were raw but shallow. Whoever staged the hanging didn't want them dead only to suffer. To frighten someone. To bait someone. Questions piled up in Cole's head, and every answer pointed toward the same man, Brackett. A soft crunch sounded behind him. Cole reached for his revolver, but a whisper froze him in place. The voice came from above, near the rafters. Cole looked up. A shadow dropped lightly from a beam. Another Apache girl, this one awake, alert, her eyes glowing with cold fury. Her hair was braided tight, her face painted with patterns half erased by snow. Even weakened, she moved like a trained predator. She held a broken piece of wood, like a knife. "You cut us down," she said. "Why?" "Because you were alive," Cole answered. "And because they're coming to finish the job." "I know," she whispered. She stepped past him and knelt beside the injured girl, touching her cheek with a sister's tenderness. Then her gaze lifted, sharp as a blade. "You're Cole," she said. "The white marshal who tried to stop Hale from burning our village." 7 winters ago. Cole stiffened. He hadn't heard that name in years. Hale. The so-called sheriff who prayed louder than anyone while killing faster than any outlaw. "You remember," she continued. "Good. Then hear this too. The one you saved is she, our elder. And we were not left hanging as victims." Cole met her stare. "Then what were you?" She leaned closer, voice low, fierce. "Guardians. And someone stole what we guard." The wind rattled the shed walls as Cole absorbed her words. "Guardians," he repeated slowly. "Guarding what?" The girl's eyes flicked toward the entrance as if the shadows themselves might be listening. "A map," she said, "but not a treasure map like your people chase. Ours shows the veins beneath the desert water. Silver, places of power the tribes swore to protect. With it, Brackett could control half of Arizona." Cole felt a chill, colder than the winter air. "That's why he staged all this." She nodded. "He wants Hale's land, the churches, the towns. And he wants to break the tribes so no one can resist." Cole paced the narrow shed, every step thudding against the frozen dirt floor. He remembered the night Hale's men rode through the Apache settlement years ago, torches blazing like falling stars. He remembered pulling 2 burning timbers off a collapsed roof, screaming at his own men to help, while Hale claimed the tribe had provoked God's wrath. Cole never forgot the smell of the smoke. He never forgot the girls who vanished that night. And now, the warriors said, "Brackett thinks we're dead. He will come back to confirm it. But we're not running." Cole studied her. She was thin from cold, bruised, shaking, but her posture held the calm certainty of someone who'd accepted death long before this night. "You plan to fight a whole gang in your condition." "We plan to finish what began 7 winters ago." Her jaw tightened. "And we're not alone. 5 more sisters still breathe, hidden in the orchard. Still weak, but alive." Cole exhaled. 7 of them. Against Brackett's riders. Against Hale's militia. Against every bought bullet in the territory. "You'll be slaughtered," he said. "Then we die warriors," she answered softly. The injured girl, she stirred, opening her eyes. Her voice was faint, but steady with authority. "Not if he stands with us." Cole froze. Her gaze held his with unsettling clarity, as if she'd been listening the whole time. "You chose us once," she whispered. "You carried water to our children when Hale burned our wells. You stood alone then." "That was different," Cole muttered. "No," she said. "It was the same choice." Outside, a whistle cut through the storm, long, sharp, unmistakable. A signal. Cole peeked through the cracks in the boards. 3 riders approached the homestead ruin, scanning the snow. More shadows moved behind them. 10 men at least. Maybe more. "They're here," the warriors said. Cole felt every instinct screaming at him to run, to drag the girls to safety. To find a doctor, anything but a fight against impossible odds. but she's hand closed around his wrist, cold and trembling yet fierce. "Help us," she whispered. Not as a marshal. As the man who saw justice when the law did not. Cole stared at her at the rope burns, the bruises, the unbroken fire in her eyes. Then he drew his revolver. "Then we make a stand," he said. Snow swirled violently around the shed as Cole pushed the door open, just wide enough to see the riders closing in. Their torches glowed like floating embers in the blizzard, cutting through the darkness with predatory certainty. Brackett's men weren't searching, they were tightening a noose. And Cole, for the first time in years, felt the old familiar pulse of danger sharpen his breath. He turned back to the two Apache girls. She had pushed herself upright, leaning against the wall, her face pale but focused. The other warrior, the one who'd confronted him, was already whispering something in Apache, summoning the strength of someone who refused to die in hiding. "What's your name?" Cole asked her quietly. "Talaka," she said. "She is our elder. I speak for the sisters when she cannot." Talaka stepped to the small, broken window and studied the figures moving through the snow. Brackett sent scouts. "They'll enter the shed within minutes." "Not if we hit them first," Cole replied. She breathed in sharply, forcing steadiness back into her voice. "We can't win a stand here. We're too weak. But we can draw them away long enough for the others to recover." "The others?" Cole asked. Talaka nodded. "5 more sisters. They crawled into the orchard when the ropes snapped. I scented them earlier. They hide, but they breathe." Cole's jaw tightened. "Then we buy them time." He checked his revolver. 5 bullets left. Enough for a start, not for a battle. Talaka lifted her makeshift wooden blade, though her hands shook with exhaustion. Cole knew that if the fight reached this shed, none of them would make it out alive. He opened the back wall plank by, creating a narrow escape route toward the orchard. Talaka watched him. "You run," she said. "We will distract them." "Not happening. You owe us nothing." "No," Cole said. "I owe you everything I didn't do 7 winters ago." Footsteps crunched outside. Men, speaking low. A rifle bolt clicked. Talaka's breath quickened, but she didn't flinch. She placed a hand on She's shoulder, then met Cole's eyes. "We move on your signal." Cole peered through the gap again. 3 riders dismounted near the main barn, scanning the ground for tracks. Another 2 approached the shed directly, guns drawn. The storm masked most sounds. But one thing was clear: they expected to find corpses. Not a fight. Cole lowered into a crouch. "When I fire first, head for the orchard. Stay low, I'll pull them away." She shook her head. "You'll die." "Maybe," Cole said. "But so will you, if we wait." The handle on the shed door twitched. Cole exhaled slowly, thumb resting on the hammer of his revolver. Every second stretched. Every heartbeat echoed. The door began to open. Cole fired. The blast split the storm. The first shot ripped through the blizzard and sent the nearest rider crashing backward into the snow. Before his body hit the ground, Cole grabbed Talaka's arm and hissed, "Run!" She darted through the narrow opening in the back wall, dragging She with her. Both of them disappearing into the orchard's maze of skeletal trees. The 2 remaining scouts shouted, stumbling away from the shed as they tried to locate the shooter through the storm. Cole burst out the front, firing twice more. 1 shot went wide. The second struck a rifle out of a scout's hands, sending him diving behind a water trough. "Marshal Cole!" A voice roared through the whiteout. It wasn't a shout of surprise. It was recognition, rage. Cole knew the voice instantly, Vance Mortar, Brackett's right hand, a man who'd once sworn he'd skin Cole alive for interfering in territorial business. Figures charged through the swirling snow. Torches bobbed. Weapons glinted. Cole dashed toward the broken stable, drawing fire as bullets punched into the wooden walls around him. He dove behind a fallen beam, the cold biting through his coat. His revolver was almost empty. 4 men were already flanking the stable, and more shadows were forming behind them. He had seconds, maybe less. Cole grabbed a loose plank and hurled it through a shattered window on the opposite side of the stable. Gunfire erupted instantly. The riders fired at the noise, assuming he'd bolted that way. "Idiots," Cole muttered. He slipped out the back, boots hammering across the icy ground. He sprinted toward the orchard where the sisters had vanished, each stride sinking into snow deeper than expected. Behind him, Mortar's voice echoed like thunder. "Find him. Brackett wants him alive." Alive, that meant torture, extraction, information. Cole didn't plan to give them either. As he reached the first row of trees, Talaka emerged from behind a trunk, breathless. "This way," she whispered. Cole followed, weaving through the orchard's crooked branches. She limped ahead, supported by 2 other Apache girls, survivors he hadn't noticed earlier. Pale, but alive. Their faces were streaked with frost and determination. All 7 were together now. "They'll follow our tracks," Cole warned. "We know," Talaka said. "That's why we're not staying on the ground." Before he could question her, one of the sisters whistled sharply. A rope dropped from an old apple tree, and the girls moved with surprising coordination for people half frozen minutes ago. They climbed swiftly, vanishing into the thick darkness above the branches. Talaka pointed upward. "You too." Cole frowned. "I weigh twice what you do. That branch won't hold." "You're wrong," Talaka said. "Our people planted these trees. Their roots know how to carry warriors." He didn't have time to argue. Voices surged closer. Snow crunched under approaching boots. From their perch among the gnarled apple branches, the orchard below looked like a maze of white and shadow. Mortar's men moved beneath the trees in staggered lines, rifles raised, boots crunching through snow that swallowed every track the wind touched. Torches flickered wildly, throwing shifting halos of orange light across the frost-covered trunks. Cole steadied his breathing, every muscle tight. 7 Apache girls crouched beside him like silent spirits, barely stirring, their silhouettes ghosting against the storm. Even weakened, they moved with a discipline Cole had only ever seen in battle-hardened scouts. Mortar strode confidently at the front of the pack, his fur coat whipping in the wind. "Spread out," he barked. Cole's close. I can smell his coward sweat. Talaka leaned toward Cole, whispering in a low, sharp breath. "He hunts loud because he fears what walks quiet." Cole smirked, despite himself. "You sound like a sermon." "It's what she used to tell us," Talaka replied. And she never lied. Below them, 2 riders separated from the group, trudging toward the very tree where the sisters hid. Cole felt the branch shift slightly under his weight, but the girls didn't react at all, not even a tremble. Their balance was uncanny, instinctive, as if the orchard itself taught them how to be invisible. One of the riders stepped on a fallen branch. The crack sounded like a gunshot. He froze, turned slowly, stared into the darkness above. Cole gripped his revolver, 2 bullets left. If the man looked up, they'd lose their only advantage. Talaka's fingers brushed his arm. "Wait," she mouthed. The rider squinted, torch raised. Snow whipped across his face, glowing in the firelight. His eyes tracked upward, higher. A soft whistle cut the air. The girl directly above him dropped. She landed silently on his shoulders, her legs snapping shut around his neck, twisting with a swift, merciless rotation. The man collapsed without a sound, his torch falling into the snow with a hiss. Before Cole could blink, she melted back into the branches, dragging the limp body with the quiet strength of a hunting cat. The second rider spun around. "You hear that?" "Hear what?" One of the others called back. Talaka exhaled slowly. "One." She, leaning against a branch 3 trees away, whispered, "6 more." Cole felt something shift inside him, not fear, but the realization that these girls, even battered, were deadlier than any ranger unit he'd served with. Mortar approached the fallen torch, suspicious. He crouched to pick it up, studying the extinguished ember. Someone's close. Search the trees. Before his men could react, a small stone dropped from above and struck Mortar's hat. He jerked upward, barely registering the motion. Talaka's voice drifted down like cold smoke. Wrong place to look. Cole didn't see her move, only the blur of her silhouette as she leaped from the branches, carving through the storm with the precision of a blade. Talaka hit Mortar like a thunderbolt. The impact knocked him backward into the snow, his rifle skidding out of reach. Before he could grab for his knife, she swept his legs, rolled, and vanished behind a tree trunk as gunfire erupted in every direction. Cole dropped from the branches right behind her, landing hard but steady. He fired once one of Mortar's men fell. Fired again, the last bullet clipped another rider's shoulder, sending him spinning. His gun clicked empty. He tossed it aside and ran for cover. The orchard exploded with chaos. Mortar scrambled to his feet, bellowing, "Kill them! Kill every—" His command cut off in a scream as one of the younger Apache girls slid from a branch above, slashing a deep cut across his forearm with a sharpened bone fragment. Mortar cursed and swung wildly, missing as she darted behind another trunk like a phantom. Snow churned beneath stampeding boots. Torches dropped. Men shouted contradictory orders. None of them had any idea where the attack was coming from. Cole ducked behind a tree as a bullet tore into the bark near his head. He grabbed the fallen rifle of the man he'd shot earlier and scanned the orchard. Through the smoke of shattered torches and blowing snow, he saw the sisters moving in, patterns, circling, striking, vanishing. Even weakened, their coordination was uncanny, almost ritualistic. Talaka, whistle called sharp, rising. Another girl echoed it from the northern edge. A third answered from the west. A triangle. Cole realized the orchard had become a hunting ground. Mortar's men finally recognized it too. Panic rippled through the group. "They're everywhere!" One of them yelled. "No, they're above." Another shouted, "Shut up and shoot." Someone else screamed back, but shooting blindly only made them easier targets. One of the riders broke rank and sprinted for the main road, desperate to escape. A dark figure dropped from a branch, tackled him, and the two disappeared in a cloud of snow. His scream ended abruptly. She, still weak but determined, steadied herself. Beside Cole, she leaned heavily against the trunk, yet pointed to Mortar with unwavering focus. "He's the head," she whispered. "Cut it off, and the body dies." Mortar, bleeding and furious, was firing in every direction. "Show yourselves. Fight me straight, you cowards." Talaka appeared behind him, swung a long branch like a staff, and cracked it against his spine. Mortar roared, stumbled forward, and Cole charged. He slammed into Mortars, both men crashing to the ground in a spray of snow. Mortar clawed for his knife. Cole grabbed his wrist, twisted, and pinned him with a knee to the chest. Mortar spat blood. "Bracket'll skin you, Marshal. And your little savages too." Cole's fist drove into his jaw. "I'm not a marshal," Cole growled. Before Mortar could recover, Talaka pressed her foot to his throat, not enough to kill, but enough to silence him. The storm eased by dawn, leaving the orchard buried beneath fresh drifts of snow. A pale gold light crept over the horizon, revealing the aftermath of the night's hunt: scattered torches, overturned rifles, blood melting into the frost. Mortar lay bound beneath the old apple tree, his breath forming angry clouds as he strained against the knots the sisters had tied. Cole paced in front of him, scanning the horizon for more riders. None appeared. After losing half their scouts, Brackett's gang would regroup before returning. They had hours at most, maybe less. Talaka crouched beside She, checking the elder's pulse. She's face was pale, her breaths slow but steady. The fight had drained what little strength she'd regained. The other sisters hovered close, torn between concern for her and fury at the threat still looming. "We move soon," Cole said quietly. "Before Brackett realizes Mortar's gone." Talaka rose, eyes hard. "Then speak with him." She jerked her chin toward Mortar. "He knows where Brackett hides." Cole didn't need convincing. Mortar spat at the snow as Cole approached. "You think you've won something? Brackett's got 50 men waiting in Red Gorge. You ride that way. You'll be dead before sundown." Cole knelt, meeting his glare. "We're not heading to Red Gorge." Mortar's smile faltered. "Then you don't know Brackett at all." "Maybe," Cole replied. "But I know you." He grabbed Mortar's by the coat and hauled him upright. "You never go anywhere without a second horse. You hate traveling light." Cole jerked his head toward the orchard's edge. "So where is it?" Mortar's jaw tightened, an answer in itself. Cole dragged him through the snow until they reached a patch of brush half bare. Under the storm's final sweep, a horse waited beneath it, tied low to avoid detection. Cole smirked. "Thought so?" Talaka appeared beside him, eyes narrowing. "Search the saddlebags." Cole didn't froze. Inside lay a weathered map case, made of thick buffalo hide, sealed with a strip of sinew. Not a pack, not tribal. It was white settler work, precisely crafted, expensive, almost ceremonial. Cole opened it. The contents were gone. Only dust and scraps remained. She, though weakened, limped forward with the support of two sisters. Her voice broke the silence. "That is Hale's mark," she whispered, running a trembling finger along the seal. "The churchman who betrayed his flock. If Brackett gave Mortar this, then Hale guards the map." Cole closed the case, anger rising like heat in the cold air. "Hale and Brackett," he muttered. "Two snakes sharing one den." Talaka crossed her arms. "We go to him." "Not yet," Cole said. "Mortar broke ranks last night. Brackett will notice. He'll send riders after him. If we take Mortar, they'll track us. So we kill him," one of the younger girls said simply. Cole shook his head. "No, we use him." He shoved Mortar back against the tree. "You're going to lead us to Hale?" Mortar laughed weakly. "And why would I do that?" The sisters prepared to move with quiet efficiency born from years of surviving raids, exile, and loss. They stripped the fallen riders of coats, boots, cartridges, anything useful. Even half-frozen, their movements were swift and precise. Cole watched them with a growing respect. He didn't bother to hide. She was settled atop the strongest of the newly saddled horses, her body wrapped in layered blankets. She objected, of course, insisting she was strong enough to walk. But her legs trembled too fiercely for the argument to last long. Talaka mounted beside her, acting as both guard and anchor. Mortar rode last, tied securely to his saddle, his hands bound and reins looped through Cole's grip. His eyes darted constantly, calculating, probing for weaknesses. Cole kept his revolver pressed to Mortar's ribs, just enough for the man to feel its cold threat. As they left the orchard, the world opened into a pale, wind-swept valley. The mountains loomed ahead, black teeth rising from the earth. Somewhere in that jagged maze, Sheriff Hale hid the stolen Mapand, perhaps. The truth behind the massacre 7 winters past. The wind carried the faint echo of crows circling over distant pines. Unease crept through Cole. "Brackett will pick up our trail soon," he said. Talaka didn't slow. "Let him. We're not hiding anymore." They cut across the valley, following Mortar's begrudging directions. Every so often, he tried to mislead them an extra turn. A false ridgebutt, each lie was met with Talaka's knife resting lightly against his throat. The third attempt earned him a sharp elbow from Cole. "You're not clever enough to stall us," Cole warned. "Stop trying." Hours passed. Snow softened into wet drifts under the pale sun. The terrain shifted from open valley to dense timberland. Massive pines crowded the path, their branches heavy with ice. The air smelled of resin and cold stone. Mortar finally spoke, voice thick with resignation. "Hale's place is ahead. Old mission ruins. He turned the church into a fortress." She's eyes opened at that, her voice barely above breath. "He prayed while he burned our people." Mortar shrugged. "He prays before he kills anyone." Talaka's voice sharpened. "Point the way." Reluctantly, Mortar nodded toward a cliffside trail. Cole urged his horse forward first, scanning every shadow. The path wound upward, narrow and treacherous, carved into the rock like a scar. Midway up, Cole spotted something that made his gut tighten. Tracks. Several horses fresh. He motioned for the group to stop. "Brackett's already here." Mortar smirked, despite the rope around his wrists. "Told you. Hale and Brackett don't hide from each other anymore." Talaka stiffened. "They made an alliance." "No," Cole said. "They made a war together." The mission ruins loomed like a hollowed skeleton against the storm-darkened sky. What once had been a sanctuary now rose as a fortress of stone walls. Shattered stained glass shards glittering like frozen embers, and torches burning defiantly in the wind. Brackett's riders paced between the broken arches, their silhouettes long and sharp across the courtyard. Cole signaled for the group to crouch behind a jagged section of fallen steeple. The 7 Apache sisters pressed to the stone beside him, their breaths shallow but steady. She, pale but resolute, whispered something in their native tongue, blessing, or perhaps a farewell. Talaka touched her shoulder gently, her own eyes burning with the fire of unfinished vengeance. Mortar sat tied to his saddle, scowling at the ruins ahead. "You're all mad. Hale's got men in the tower, men in the choir loft, and Brackett's men holding the yard. You're walking into a grave." Cole tightened the ropes binding him. "You'll walk first." Talaka peered over the stone, studying the layout. "We need a distraction." Cole nodded. "That's why Mortar goes in ahead. They'll think he escaped, or that he's leading us." Mortar's curses filled the wind, but Cole ignored him. He scanned the courtyard. Hale's men wore black coats with the silver-stitched crosses. Cole remembered all too well. Brackett's men, rough and ragged, moved with arrogant confidence. 2 devils sharing one altar. "What about the map?" she whispered. Cole pointed toward the mission's central hall. A faint glow pulsed behind its shattered door's lamplight, steady and guarded. Inside, he said, "Someone's watching it." Talaka narrowed her eyes. Snow thickened, swirling through the ruins like ghostly dancers. It was dangerous cover, but cover nonetheless. Cole rose and pulled Mortar toward the courtyard entrance. "You're going to shout for Brackett," Cole said. "Tell him you caught us. Tell him you found the sisters alive." Mortar laughed bitterly. "And when he realizes the truth?" Cole leaned close. "He won't live long enough for that." Mortar swallowed hard. Talaka whispered, "Once inside, we split. 3 with Cole, 3 with me. She stays hidden until we secure the hall." She opened her mouth to protest, but Talaka's commanding glance silenced her. Cole took his place behind the fallen arch. Talaka's sisters moved into the shadows, positioning themselves like silent blades waiting to strike. The storm thickened again, the sky lowering with a rumble of distant thunder. "Go," Cole whispered. Mortar stumbled forward into the open, shouting hoarsely, "Brackett! Brackett! I've got M. Cole's alive, and the Apache girls too." Every torch swung toward him. Gunmen poured into the courtyard, rifles raised. Brackett himself stepped through the mission doors, coat lined with wolf fur, a grin splitting his scarred face. "Well, I'll be damned," he drawled. "Mortar, you actually lived." Chaos consumed the mission courtyard. Cole fired first, sending 2 of Brackett's men sprawling into the snow. Talaka leaped from a broken wall, spear in hand, spinning through the air with lethal grace. Her sisters followed, silent as shadows, cutting through the remaining riders before they even knew what hit them. The storm whipped around them, snow blinding and wind tearing at clothing, but none faltered. Brackett barked orders, attempting to rally his men, but their formation collapsed under the relentless assault. Cole's revolver cracked repeatedly, bullets finding gaps between armor and coat. Every shot counted. He knew the sisters couldn't hold the courtyard indefinitely. They needed Brackett alive, Hale alive, and the map secured. The margin for error was paper-thin. She appeared at the ruined doorway, carrying herself with a resolve that belied her exhaustion. She pressed forward, blade flashing, cutting the last of Hale's outer guards before disappearing into the mission hall. Cole followed, signaling Talaka to cover their flank. Inside, the hall smelled of soot and decay. Candle stubs melted into the stone floor. A single lantern burned in the center of the room, illuminating a figure hunched over a table, the map. Hale turned slowly, recognizing the intrusion. His eyes widened, but fear didn't touch them. Instead, cold calculation replaced any trace of surprise. "Cole," he said, voice smooth as ice, "you shouldn't have come." Cole's grip on his revolver tightened. "And yet we did. The girls are with me, Hale. You either give us the map, or you die here." Hale laughed softly, almost reverently. "You misunderstand me. I've already given the map to Brackett. Your sisters fought to save nothing." Cole's fists clenched. Talaka and the sisters blocked the hall exits. They wouldn't let Hale move. Every breath in the room hung thick with tension. Then the door slammed behind Hale. She had returned with the last sister, blocking any escape. Hale's smirk faltered. A sudden crash outside the courtyard erupted again as Brackett tried to force the remaining doors. Cole spun, covering both Hale and the doorway. Talaka's spear flew, disarming Brackett's lieutenant with a sickening snap. The fight became a whirlwind of motion, swinging knives, whirling spears, gunfire sparking off stone and wood. Cole's mind focused, calculating every move, every possibility. They couldn't fail. She moved silently toward Hale. He raised a pistol, but she was faster. With a single, precise motion, her arrow knocked long before the assault flew true. Hale staggered, clutching his shoulder. Blood seeped between his fingers. The room fell silent except for snow rattling against the shattered windows.